the King's speech told us that measures will be introduced to improve the safety and security of public venues and help keep the British people safe from terrorism. My lords, when we use the word terrorism nowadays, we usually mean Islamist terrorism. And MI5 tells us that Islamist terrorism is now the UK's most significant threat. And yet, my lords, if we so much as try just to talk about Islam or Islamism, we are immediately accused of Islamophobia. A phobia is an irrational fear of something. But it isn't irrational to fear the modern world's most violent religious ideology. I would describe it as such because, according to the religionofpeace.com website, Islamist terrorists have carried out some 46,602 deadly terror attacks somewhere in the world since their Twin Tower massacres of the 9th of September 2001, or more than 5 every day. Just in the week from July the 6th to 12th this year, there have been 35 attacks in 12 countries, killing 70 people and injuring 32. There are two broad divisions within Islam, as I'm sure your lordships know, between Sunni and Shia Muslims, with many subsects which don't often agree with each other. And the vast majority of these attacks have been on other Muslims. My lords, I understand there is a popular conception that the word Islam means peace, whereas in fact it means submission to the will of Allah or the Muslim God. Devout Muslims should obey the Quran and emulate the life of Muhammad. This is unfortunate because the Quran contains over 100 verses which encourage Muslims to kill or subdue non-Muslims. And in 627, Muhammad ordered the death of 600 Jews in one afternoon. The Islamists' view of this, my lords, is that peace will be achieved when our planet is ruled by Islam. My lords, Islam's Sharia law is already running de facto in the United Kingdom via some 80 Muslim arbitration tribunals. These discriminate harshly against Muslim wives, whose husbands have only to say, "I divorce you," 3 times, to leave them divorced and often destitute. The Sharia allows Muslim men to have 4 wives at a time, most of whom are having at least 2 children. So the Muslim population is going up 10 times faster than our national average. On past trends, Birmingham and 9 other English local authorities will be majority Muslim by 2031. The radicals' plan is to wait until they can take us over through the power of the womb and the ballot box. Of course, my lords, I pay tribute to the vast majority of Muslims in this country who eschew these tenets and live decent and helpful lives in our democracy. But we are left with the problem of what to do about the rest of them. May I suggest first that we should start monitoring our mosques and madrasas and imprison or deport our extremist imams. Second, we should encourage the licensing of imams before they can preach, as do other religions, including, I think, the Church of England. Third, the government should enact Baroness Cox's bill to give our Muslim wives the protection of our civil law. The bill has had 2 supportive second readings in your lordship's house, but the government fears being called Islamophobic by our Muslim men, so won't support it. Fourth, we should ban the burqa in public, as 16 other countries have done, some of which are Muslim majority. My lords, Islam is a vast subject, and I cannot possibly do it justice in the 5 minutes which is our allotted speaking time. But I have written a 2-page bullet point memo entitled, "Why Can't We Talk About Islam?" which has found favour in unexpected quarters, and I will put a copy of that in your lordship's library.